Hi, well it's that time of the day again, time to have a shave. So why have I got my camera in the bathroom? Well, I like to shave the old-fashioned way with, soap and a brush. And I made this video for people who are wanting to do the old-fashioned shave and wanting to choose the right brush for them to do that. So I'm doing a comparison today of 3 different brushes that I've purchased. So the first one is this here, which is it's made by a company called 1920, I think, or no, 1092, that's it. And this is their synthetic fibre brush. Now, the 3 brushes I'll be looking at today, the construction is all the same at the base. They have the same type of base, and they have a 22mm knot. So no difference there. The difference in these brushes is the type of fibre, and that's the thing that I really wanted to review today. So this is their synthetic fibre brush, and it feels very soft and looks, the colour of it makes it look a bit like a badger hair brush, but it's just pure synthetic. Okay, this next brush here, this is made by Müller, the German company, and this brush here is true badger hair, and you can see it's a much bigger dome of hair there, but at the base it's still the same 22mm knot. Now, ordinarily I would never buy a badger hair brush because of the cruelty factor, but the only reason I bought this one was I wanted to do the comparison and I wanted to publish it on the internet so that anybody else who's out there who has bought into the marketing about badger hair and how it's the best hair for shaving brushes and how any synthetic is never going to come up to the same standard as badger hair, I wanted to put that theory to the test and to publish it. So that's why the badger hair. The last one here is made by Müller, the same company, the German company. This is their alternative, and this is their synthetic, and they call it synthetic black fibre. And it is quite dark, but it's got some blonde hairs on the outside of it. So those are the 3 brushes that I'll be testing today, and I'll give you a review of it. So, time to lather up. Now today I'm going to be using this, which is made by Taylor of Old Bond Street, a good English company, and the fragrance of this is called Tobacco Leaf, and I really like this fragrance. It's quite unusual, but it sort of evokes images of, gentlemen in the gentleman's club in the evening smoking cigars and drinking port. But it's a very manly sort of scent and I kind of really like it. Okay, so what I do, the process I follow is I take a dab of cream and I put that on the face. Some people might say wet your face, but my face is going to get very wet using the brush anyway, so I don't really feel like I need to put any water on there first up. And indeed, if you do, sometimes it means the soap tends to run off with the water. So I put it on my face dry like so, get it over every part I can like that. And once I've done that, I'm ready to lather up. So first I'm going to take this brush here, the synthetic 1092 brush. What I do with the brush firstly is I wet it, and then I shake all the excess water off it, and then I apply it to my face, like so. Now, the first thing I notice about this brush is it's very soft, and it's also very limp. So it's kind of making a bit of a lather there, but it's not really massaging my face or massaging the soap and whipping it up into a lather, because these fibres are they're just too flimsy, right? They just bend too easily. So, this is not great. I'll give it a bit more of a go. What I do regardless of which brush I'm using, I then start to slowly add water, and how I do that is I just drop a few drops of water onto the brush like so, to wet it a bit more, and then I go in again, and as I do that I get more water into the soap and the soap starts to lather. Now it is lathering, but I'm not getting that really great massage of the skin. So to me, that's not a fantastic brush. Okay, so now we're going to go to the badger hair brush. This one looks like it's got a lot more bulk to it, even though the knot size is the same. And the bristles do feel a lot firmer and stiffer. Sorry, I'll just wet that and get it all wet. And we'll go in with this one. Now this one, first thing you notice is it has a natural smell. It actually smells like badger, like an animal. I suppose that smell will go after I've used it a bit more, but yeah, it's quite a shock when you first smell it. The other thing I notice about it is that it kind of feels prickly on your skin. It feels like the ends of the fibres are actually quite sharp, and it's like little needles on the skin. I guess that probably they'll smooth off over time, but it is quite an aggressive brush. So I'll put a bit of water on that one there. I think that changing brushes is a bit of a problem because you lose a lot of the soap with each brush that you use. And so now I'm finding that there's not quite enough soap on there to lather up. So I might just add a bit more soap. So we've got enough to work with. That's better. Okay, put a bit more water on. Okay, I can hear it lathering now. You can hear the sound of it as it starts to turn into a good creamy lather. And I'm certainly getting the massage of the skin, so that's good. Okay, so now we're going to change to the last one, which is this synthetic fibre by the same German company, Müller. And I'll wet that up. We'll see how we go. I may need to add a bit more cream to my face, but we'll see how we go. It looks like there's a fair bit there. But you see how it comes off when you put a new brush on it. So I will put a bit more on. I'm only doing this because I'm changing brushes. You wouldn't normally need to keep adding cream. Okay, that's better. Now, this brush, well, I would say this is like the third bowl of porridge that Goldilocks ate. Not too hard, not too soft, just right. No, seriously, this brush, it's nice and stiff, the fibres, so you can really, push it into the skin and massage your skin with it. However, it doesn't have the aggressive needle-like points on the fibres, so it feels very comfortable to shave with. And you can see it's making a good lather. I'll put a bit more water on there. But, it's making a very good lather on the face. And really getting into the pores. So, this one certainly, I would say, is the best of the three, without a doubt. And you can see now, look at the lather on that brush, and if I squeeze that off, look at that there. Beautiful lather, right? Very, sleek and creamy. So yeah, that's what I want out of a shave brush. So all that's left to do now is actually do the shave. And while I'm doing that, I'll just give you my quick summary. So my summary would be this, that if you're buying a shave brush, you need to make sure that the fibres are stiff enough to really give you that massage of the skin and to really whip up the cream into a lather. So avoid a brush that feels too soft. So I would say that first brush feels more like a woman's makeup brush, where it's really soft and you're just wanting to lightly dab on a bit of powder or whatever. It's not suitable for shaving. The other thing I would say is that you certainly don't need to buy a badger hair brush to get a good shave. The new synthetic, the black fibre made by the German company Müller, is every bit as good, and I would argue it's better. Why would I say better? Well, it's better, firstly, obviously, because there's no cruelty to animals involved in it. But also it's better because it doesn't smell like animal, and you don't want to walk out smelling like a badger. And also, what I noticed with the badger hair brush is, after you've used it, you look in the sink and there's all these fibres in the sink that have fallen out of the brush, and it sheds like crazy, whereas the synthetic one doesn't shed at all. So whilst this badger brush looks like it's got a lot more fibres in it to start with, the rate that it's shedding them at, it's going to finish up very thin very quickly compared to the synthetic. And the third reason I would say that you want to stay away from the badger brush is that it's a natural fibre, and so it's very slow to dry out, whereas any synthetic fibres will dry very quickly. And that's kind of important too, because you want to make sure that the brush fibres are fully dry before your next use. And that's indeed why I buy these ones that hang upside down, so that the water flows out of the brush when it's drying and not back into it. Because if it doesn't fully dry between uses, what will happen is those fibres will start to rot, and eventually they'll break off and the brush will shed. So that's the third reason for preferring a synthetic. So I hope this video has been helpful to you today, and if you're in the market for a shave brush, you know now what to look for, and you know that you don't have to fall for the marketing about badger hair. You can buy a synthetic brush that's every bit as good. So right now I'm going to carry on with my shave, and I'll let you get back to whatever you're doing, and thanks for watching.